But first, as you're aware, we currently have university students right around the country protesting against Israel. The protests here in Australia, including anti-Israel encampments, aren't, of course, original. They're a direct copy of what our kids have seen American students doing. Students whose ignorance is matched only by their self-assuredness are demanding universities cut ties with Israel, the only liberal democracy in the Middle East. Well, today, American students, and by extension those here in Australia, received some encouragement. I'm just not sure it's the kind of encouragement you want. The Supreme Leader of Iran this morning published a letter praising university students around the Western world. That's right, the Ayatollah. He loves our uni students. Here he is encouraging students in Iran.
امام اگر امروز بود همون فریاد ابراهیمی همون فریاد بت شکن رو امروز هم میزد، همون فریادی که ملت رو بیدار کرد و به انقلاب رسوند.
He went on to say he agreed with those chants. So, with the chants of death to America still ringing in his ears, the supreme leader of an Islamic theocracy that sponsors terrorism around the globe today fired off this letter on social media. He said, "Dear university students in the United States of America, you are standing on the right side of history. You have now formed a branch of the resistance front and have begun an honourable struggle. The resistance front has grown in strength and will become even stronger." Now, protesting university students might be interested to learn that other branches of Iran's resistance front include Hezbollah and Palestine Islamic Jihad. Probably not the sort of company you want to be keeping. Then again, maybe the Ayatollah knows our kids better than I do.
You've also got to send a message to Hamas to release the hostages, don't you?
Well, I actually say that Hamas deserve our unconditional support, not because I agree with their strategy.
You can't condemn what Hamas did in October last year?
I will not condemn what Hamas did. We must be unconditional, but we must be critical also,
Luke?
right?
No, I did not condemn.
The Ayatollah's letter does present us with an interesting question, though, doesn't it? Who's right? University vice-chancellors who insist the student encampments are, as Sydney's Mark Scott said, legitimate, peaceful protests we just, see from time to time? Or do we believe the Ayatollah Khomeini, who claims them as extensions of his own foreign policy, which, as we all know, calls for the complete eradication of Israel?
جوانان فلسطینی و نهضت فلسطینی نهضت ضد غصب، ضد ظلم، ضد صهیونیسم امروز از همیشه با نشاط‌تر، سرحال‌تر، آماده‌تر مشاهده می‌کنیم و انشالله این نهضت به نتیجه خواهد رسید. همونطور که امام بزرگوار رضوان الله علیه تعبیر کردن از رژیم فاسد به سرطان، حتما این سرطان انشالله به دست خود مردم فلسطین و نیروهای مقاومت در کل منطقه پیشکن خواهد شد به فضل الهی.
But the Ayatollah's not just impressed with Western young people, he also lavished praise on their tutors, telling students, "The support and solidarity of your professors is a consequential development." Now, the Ayatollah's gratitude to Western university staff comes at the same time that audio of a University of Sydney professor telling first-year students that mass rape and sexual violence perpetrated by Hamas on October 7 was, quote, fake news and a hoax peddled by the media. This was exclusively revealed by the Australian newspaper Tonight. Have a listen.
So if we look at, for instance, the role of the media in this genocide as an ideological state apparatus, we can see how the Western media has suppressed coverage of the atrocities. They've used this kind of fake news about Hamas beheading babies and mass rapes, all in order to shore up support for Israel, and they have distorted events.
Now that, of course, is garbage. Even the United Nations, who aren't exactly friends of Israel, have said there are, quote, reasonable grounds to believe Hamas engaged in mass gang rape across multiple locations on October 7. Now, Sydney University has told The Australian they're investigating the sociology professor's comments. But little wonder the Ayatollah loves Western university professors. The term useful idiots comes quickly to mind. And then the leader of the country in which Islamic law is followed to the letter helpfully encourages his young charges, by whom I mean our young people, saying, "The resistance front advances by a comprehensive understanding and the practice of those and hundreds of other such commands from Allah, and will attain victory with the permission of God." And then he has this advice for our young people. "My advice to you is to become familiar with the Quran." Now, it's tempting to scoff. Who does the Ayatollah think he is? Then again, maybe it's the Ayatollah who's laughing at us. Remember these scenes just a few weeks ago from UCLA. Hundreds of university students praying the Shahada, converting to Islam on university campuses. Imagine telling someone 10 years ago there'd soon come a day when the Iranian supreme leader would be thanking a bunch of atheist students in Western universities. Just 10 years ago, people would have thought you were insane. But unfortunately, that's what we're living with today. Insanity. Then again, others of us have been screaming for the past 10 years that if we didn't wake up, these days were coming. And here we are.